Well, y'all, like anything, when you're trying to give words of wisdom, the enemy tries to stop it. So for some reason, my go live just shut completely out. So I am recording it, right? Because the enemy didn't bet on these wings on my back, baby, to come out and go ahead and fly. So like I was saying, if you are pro-black, it does not mean that you're anti-white. You can want something for your community. It doesn't mean you hate other races. I'm tired of the media making this combat like that. Not only the KKK, but many other groups and social groups and religious groups, they set up meetings and rallies, and it's anti-human, right? And we don't say anything. But as soon as we get a platform and we start having Black Lives Matter and something that matters to our community, it turns into anti something else. No, that's not the case. We want to have a platform and be treated equally. And that has nothing to do with hating another race. That has everything to do with us and what we desire. Change. It's like my biggest pet peeve when two friends, you could be friends for years, and then finally the outspoken one says, hey, you hurt my feelings. You did this or you did that. And then the coward one will say, you did that to me a year ago, or last month you did this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you using my platform, my time to speak, and you're taking that and making it yours? You're making it your problem. When I hurt your feelings or whatever happened to you, you should have spoke on it. Don't wait until I address the issue with myself with you, and then you want to take that from me and start talking about you. Two people can be married. One's a Democrat and one's a Republican. When you go in that booth, that's just you and your ballot in that booth. And you make a decision and you choose who you want to choose. You come out, you and your spouse walk away, and you guys live together. You're married in one together because you are able to respect the other one's stance on life. That's the point that we need to get to. Now, people are saying, what should we do now? You'll go back to your everyday lives. We will. You should. We can't live in fear. You have to go to your kids' games this weekend, go to recitals. I know we'll be baking cookies. You have to go back and do your everyday living that you do. You have to go to work. But I'm going to tell you a story. Cleveland winters get real cold, bitter cold. I remember being in the house. I had cabin fever one day. And so I got the kids dressed and I got out. I didn't even realize how cold it was. I just know I needed to get out of the house and get some air. So that's what I did. Well, I remember the gas gauge was broke. Now, I'm not going to lie. I hate to get gas. I've ran out of gas before, but this time the gas gauge really was broken. And I ran out of gas. I remember right on the highway, 480, in front of the Cedar exit sign. I remember it was so cold. It was bitter, freezing outside. And I'm out of gas. So I'm in Lyndhurst, Beechwood. I said, well, they'll be coming soon. They're always around. The police will come soon. Well, no one came. So desperate times call for desperate measures. I remember looking back, and my two babies at the time, the youngest, were 1 and 2 years old. And they were like, Mommy, I'm cold. And they had one blanket sharing between the two of them. I said, God help me. What do? I kept staring at that sign that said Cedar. And I knew that sign was too far to walk. I knew we would freeze if I even attempted it. So as I sat there and waited a little longer and a little bit longer, it got colder and colder until I had no choice. I got out that truck and almost in the middle of the highway on 480. And I started flagging people down. And I started silently trying, but the cold was taking my breath away. Help me. I got babies in the car. I'm out of gas. And to help me. Somebody must have saw me and they called the police and the police came. And the officer that came, he didn't even think to say, well, get in the car and warm up. You know, I was like, I'm out of gas. So he left us there and he went and got the gas. But this story is not about the inconsideration of the officer, because the second one did pull up and he said, get in the car and warm up, while the other officer came back. So again, this story is not about the inconsideration of the officer, but it's about when you say, what do you do next? You lose yourself. You lose all pride. You lose your ego. You lose everything that you thought you were made of. And you get out there in the middle of ongoing traffic. And you scream and you wave people down for help and attention because your babies are freezing. Your situation may have been different, but we've all been there when it is downright desperate times. Well, that's where we are now. Our babies are cold and our babies are dying. And we've got to come together and change it and help each other. It can be in your everyday life. When you go to work, you need to speak up. You need to say something. You need to take a stand. When you are a professor at school, you need to speak up. When you see wrong, you need to say something to somebody in the grocery store. Speak up and talk to one another. Look at each other. Stop looking down at your phone. Look at one another again. Let people know I hear you. I care for you. I understand you. Stop giving dab and just for people that's doing something with themselves or who you idolize or who you think you should, pat on the back and only talk to them. Talk to the ones that's down and out. Talk to people that need you. Talk to people that are in need of help, in need of your love, in need of you to just say hello, a hug. Talk to each other. Let them know you care. Let them know you hear them. Let them know you see them. Let them know. And every chance you get, everywhere you are, use a growth moment. Use that opportunity to kick some knowledge into somebody. Stop thinking everything you do is okay. It's not. Stop being cool with everything. Everything is not cool. Stand up for what's right and teach our people and teach each other and teach our youth and love on one another and speak to one another. That's one way you could help. That's one thing you can do is love each other and help each other. They don't even know. You just keep being clicked up and giving love to only people in a certain group. You have to spread it amongst the entire community. Stop being afraid to make a stand and take a stand on something out of fear of losing something you don't even have, your freedom. I got a call that Apostle Andre Dotson has to do a funeral this Saturday. If you guys want to hear what he has to say, please come to Forest Hill Park at noon after he speaks at that funeral. He has a strategy on how we can get better, how we can get our unity back, ideas of keeping the black dollar. That's very important. Putting it back in our community and just hold on to it. Save it. Stop spending it and stop giving it away, because that will make them recognize you and see you, because we spend a lot of money. There are ways to fight this war. You cannot go shoot up the entire country. We all know we just can't do that. There is a strategy and there is a way to do what needs to be done. You just have to take the initiative and do it. If we say, hey, hold off, don't buy the Jordans, don't buy them. What part don't you get? If you say don't spend your money here and don't do this, and then there's so many people saying, well, what can I do to help? But then when you tell them how to help, they say, well, don't tell me how to spend my money. What do you suggest? There will be an open forum at Forest Hill Park at 12, led by Apostle Andre Dotson. Please, please be there. And if you're unable to attend, do as I say, and in your everyday life, take every opportunity to stomp out fear and help one another.